on now. Coronary stents used in medical procedures will now cost less, but the price cap comes at a cost. Take a look at this report to find out.
In a move to control the cost of stents used in coronary care in India, the National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority plans to cap the price of these tiny medical devices. Stent prices vary from 25,000 rupees for an indigenous one to over 200,000 for its imported variety. But media reports have spotlighted the steep price patients pay for stents in hospitals. The reports say the landed cost and the maximum retail price of some varieties of stents varies from around 300% to over 700%. The report suggests unfair pricing. So who is at fault? Patients say the hospitals where they go for treatment insist that the stent be bought from that hospital. The hospital buys directly from the company manufacturing the stent, taking advantage of discounts for bulk purchase. The higher price at which they sell the stent to patients is obviously their profit. The price cap being proposed and to be finalized by March next year will apply to manufacturers. In other words, patients may not benefit even after the price cap comes into force. Clearly, the government has to put its thinking cap on and work out how to make stents affordable to patients. Bureau Report, WION.
All right, joining me on the phone line right now is Dr. M. Vali, consultant physician to the President of India. Thank you, Dr. Vali, for joining us here on WION. The question is now stents, which are very important in treating patients with very specific heart conditions, how to make them more affordable. What can, the state do in this case, and how can the pharmaceutical companies really contribute?
Well, pharmaceutical companies will never contribute. They are there to make the profits. Actually, Sana, it is a tripartite fight between National Pharmacological Pricing Authority, that is NPPA, and Advanced Medical Technology Association, ADVAMED, and Indian Medical Device Industry, that is AIMED. See, this is a very difficult and complicated issue. I tell you why. Even if you regulate the price of a stent, the hospital may charge for the procedure. It may charge for the ballooning, which is the prior requirement before stenting, and the total may be something comes out to the same kind of profit. It's a good move from the government, though, but it's very difficult to implement because we have not learned to respect Indian products so far. We have still not come out from the cocoon of the Gulami, and we are not giving importance to the Prime Minister's Make in India program. Let me be very frankly tell you, when our doctors are best abroad, why we are still using the imported stents?
Right.
We should make it in India, give the chance to the company who are making it in China to come to India and make it in India, and do not do the reverse import. That's a very important point. They would do reverse import because the cost of labor in India would be cheaper, though, from their own countries. So it is the best time to utilize the Prime Minister's Make in India program, invite the companies to make these stents in India, to supply to our hospitals,
right,
and to tell our hospitals not to make the compromise between the life of the patients and the money they are going to earn. In fact, the hospitals have got big loans to pay, and there are a lot of overheads. That's why they don't mind earning more money through these stents. And I tell you one very sensitive thing, when a patient is going on angiography after a heart attack,
right,
in an emergency of a hospital, whatever doctor is there, he finds a block, comes out from the cath lab and says, oh, your patient has got a very severe block, we have to put a stent right now.
And then there is no other option but to pay. Right.
Yeah, patient would say, doctor, save my patient, I'm ready to spend any money.
Right.
Then they'll ask the question, Indian or imported? Obviously, the way they ask, the patient would say imported.
So you're saying even, doctor, you're saying even after this price cap is being put, it's not a final solution because the cost can be charged in many other ways, like, for instance, the hospitals can charge that additional cost. We'll have to leave it at that. Thanks so much for joining us and sharing your perspective on this story. Let's move on to